Okay, so today I'm with Annabelle from CMC Marquees. I think it'd be really good if you can just start by introducing yourself, the business, the events you specialize in, and also the equipment that you rent out as well.
Yeah, cool. So obviously Marquee Hire, we specialize in A-frame structures, clear span, and we mainly work on sort of corporate events, TV and film work, and then sort of the ad hoc private party and wedding. Yeah, a bit more ad hoc really. We kind of specialize more in the corporate and TV world. So yeah, I am in the office. I sort of work on everything from incoming inquiries, bookings, crewing, staffing. Yeah, bit of everything.
I can't remember when you joined. Were CMC already on Marquee Tech, or did you join and then sort of move them over to us? I can't actually remember.
Yeah, so I started, oh God, when did I start? About 7 years ago. So I did a few years on our previous system,
Right.
and then COVID hit.
Yep. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously lots of things needed to change. We weren't set up for home working at all. We were in the office Monday to Friday. I had no capability really of working from home, mainly because of the system. So it was all on our server in the office. So yeah, when COVID hit, we managed to find a way to make it work so I could get onto the system at home, but it wasn't the most straightforward.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably around that time that you guys then got in touch.
Yeah. And
Systems.
so you just need to be cloud-based basically, so you could work. You don't have to be stuck in the office.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously with that comes a lot more flexibility as well. And I think it was myself and Stuart on the system, but no one else had access.
Yeah.
So everything had to go through us. And yeah, it was, I mean, it worked, and we didn't know any different.
Was there any
Yeah.
other challenges that made you want to look into Marquee Tech, or was it mainly being cloud-based?
I think it was mainly the flexibility, and yeah, just trying to update the system really. And yeah, it's a lot more smooth and cleaner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was our main reason. I mean, the old system worked, it did its job, but yeah, definitely the flexibility and ease of working online.
Yeah. So it's just sort of streamlining the processes on a more modern cloud-based system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So since being on Marquee Tech for like it's been like 4 or 5 years now, around that sort of
Yeah.
time. Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
it's great.
crazy. Yeah. What would you say are the main features that you guys use?
So I definitely use quoting, stock checking, and I think probably the other feature that's used the most is the boys in the yard being able to look at the jobs and get load lists and see what they're doing, basically. Not just getting a piece of paper that says pick this.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say they're the main features.
Okay, cool. And then what's the biggest like time saving or efficiency gains that you guys have noticed since moving on to Marquee Tech?
Yeah, so I think probably the ease of being able to update everything in real time and it happen kind of in front of you and everything in the background that changes with it. So if I update a quote or, the boys are able to see that change automatically in the yard if they're picking, and definitely that. Whereas previously, I'd have been creating a site pack for them, printing off the load list, and then if something changed, you've got to go back and redo it. And, it's just a lot of backwards and forwards. Yeah, I would say that is probably our biggest saving.
So it's the fact that the system or kind of like just from building the quote and then the booking, that sort of automates all the other jobs, right? It like creates the load list with all the components,
Yeah.
booking calendars, the invoices, and so on. So it's like you do one thing and then all these other tasks are done for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
And I think also checking when you're putting that initial job on as a quote, checking stock and just having that, as soon as you create the quote, it will show if anything's overbooked straight away. Whereas previously we had to kind of go into the back of house and check everything off and see what's overbooked. Whereas you can instantly know if there's something and click on it, go into it and see if it's something vital or something that's, we can go ahead anyway without that.
Yeah. So when you're building the quote, you see the little quote, the in quote stock warnings, and then it flags up to see if you're out of any components or.
Yeah, it's just a quick, easy way, I think.
Yeah.
To see if you've got an issue straight away, and then obviously you can look into it in more detail. But just having that box pop up straight away is definitely a time saver.
And you want to find that out like 2 months before, not 2 days before, because that costs you a lot of money. Yeah. So is there any specific examples that you can think of where the systems helped you secure a booking faster or win new clients?
I think I don't know if we've necessarily won new clients. I would say, well, I think the streamline of making everything more streamlined and getting quotes out quicker and the client, receiving everything quicker will definitely have helped. But I think it's also the fact that it's saved time in the process for us to then focus on other areas of the business as well. So we're not spending so long within the system.
Yeah.
So yeah, our time could be spread out a bit better.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably then in hand helping clients and winning better and bigger jobs.
Yeah, often in like systems that aren't as streamlined or a bit clunky, or like your own processes, like you say, they take so long. You're spending so much time just in the business doing the day-to-day jobs of like, what you have to do for the business to operate, like build quotes, check load lists out, and so on. That you've got no other time to, like you say, do marketing or be on social media, whatever it might be, to help grow the business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So how would you say the system helps you? I kind of spoke about this a little bit earlier, but how would you say the system helps you reduce expensive mistakes?
I think that's again down to the automatic updates and the boys having. So we use a tablet in the yard, so they've got access to the system on that, and they can pick directly from that. So in an ideal world, it means less mispicking.
Yeah. It's always human error, I guess.
Yeah, things always slip through. But I think, having the system in the yard rather than just a piece of paper, I think is definitely helpful, and avoiding as many mistakes.
Yeah. So do you feel the team in the office and then the team on site, it's just more collaborative now since being on the software?
Yeah, definitely. And I think they've got a better insight into the job and they can see everything that's going on. And definitely.
Does it make it easier for, I think often when companies, when they're not using software, kind of rely on one person or maybe a couple of people that know it in their heads to load or check stocks. They can do it from their head, but then you can't really run the business like that, because if they're off, then you're stuck. So do you feel like it's easy for new staff in summer to be able to go into load lists and still be able to pick?
Yeah, I think anyone can pick up that tablet and know what they're looking at. So if we haven't got our regular guys in the yard, then the people out there should still be able to get on with it and get the job done.
Awesome. What do your customers think of Marquees Tech's customer-facing features, such as the quotes, or mainly the online quotes, actually, the dashboards?
Yeah, I think everyone's happy with that. I sometimes still download quotes into PDF as well, just depending on the client. But we use a bit of a mixture. Yeah,
I think it's good to have both, because there's still some clients just want to see a black and white PDF, don't they, downloaded, and then some people want the digital images.
Yeah, I think I had a few clients, especially more agency or event management sort of companies. I found they quite like having the PDF so that they can then save the record their end as well, rather than just having an online link. I've lost you. I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry, say the
Oh, I think
last
back.
like 20 headphones.
Yeah, so I think some of our agencies and event management clients, they quite like having a PDF. I think they like to be able to save it to their system and not just having a web link.
So in terms of tangible results, it's a bit of a tricky one sometimes, but can you give like any sort of return on investment that you've had since using Marquee Tech, whether that's more time, better profit margins, more revenue from the system? Like, yeah, is there any insights that you can give for that?
I think again, it's just probably the time. So, you know, less time I'm sat on the system, the better, really. Yeah, it just means I can be working across other things and hopefully gaining more work and bringing more revenue in.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and then last question. So if another rental business was thinking about having a demo with us or thinking about switching over, what would you say to them? Would you recommend it?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it feels quite daunting to start with. Everyone's, I'm sure, quite scared about the aspect of moving all that stock over and the admin behind it and the headache behind it. But I don't think it was as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
It was all made quite smooth, and also a great opportunity to do a full stock check.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
often you have time to do that. So yeah, we wouldn't hesitate in telling anyone to move
yeah,
over.
yeah. Often, a lot of companies get stuck with systems, even if they hate them, because they're so
Yeah,
worried. They're so worried about the switch, because, like you
yeah,
say, it feels like it's going to be, and it is a big job. There's a lot of stock. You've got customers. You've got if you have tents and marquees, there's a lot of kit you need to build.
yeah,
But and it was a while ago when we set up your account, but we've invested so much into the
yeah.
onboarding.
I'm sure it changed again.
Yeah, so it's even faster now. Like usually
Yeah.
we get suppliers fully set up, switched over with everything on in like a day or two.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just hard to hard to explain that to people because it's always for them. They're like, really? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's much quicker now.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think once you're on there, it's easy to keep on top of it all. And
Yeah. Did you
yeah,
find it was like obviously going on to any new system, even if you were switching from an Android to an iPhone, can be tricky. But do you
yeah,
feel you learned the software quite fast, considering?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all quite user friendly. I wouldn't say, especially with quote making, which I think when you first move on to it, that's the important bit, isn't it? Getting quotes out and driving the business that way. But yeah, absolutely fine. Very easy. And any questions, you guys are great. Come back to us very quick.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Amazing.
Always response.
Good. Okay then. Well, I think that is all of our questions. So thanks again for your time today,
No
Annabelle.
worries.
Awesome.
Absolutely fine.